people. Welcome to yet another segment of Daystar TV. You know, it's your presenter, Brandon. And today we are live on Domas in Cairo Village. And we are here to meet a guest who is going to take us down through a couple of questions, and maybe we're going to leave motivated. Our expected guest in the show today, we have Boniface, who is going to answer a few questions that I need to get more insight on, and maybe we're going to finish well. So karibu kwa show Bwana Boniface.
Asante.
Yes. So today, the purpose of my interview today is to get a professional announcer, somebody who's been in the field of broadcast presentation and has been making a living out of it. And as an aspiring presenter or announcer, I have to be exposed to somebody who's been in the field, and I hope I'm going to get some insight from you. Sure. So we're going to dive right into the questions right now and see what we're going to get out of this. So my first question would be, would you please highlight to me what your announcing specialization is in? Where do you specialize when it comes to announcing?
So basically, I am a radio producer. That is my specialty. However, I did general mass communication.
Okay.
I can do TV production. I can do video production, animation, but I specialized in radio production.
Okay.
Right now, I'm the station manager for Radio Domas FM. I initially started as a volunteer. So when I started as a volunteer, then I moved in to be an editor. After becoming an editor, after 3 months I became the station manager. So that is how I have scaled my journey.
Oh.
Yeah. But also I have presented several shows. When I was at Multimedia University, I did a radio show called Tuko Bez. So when I joined Radio Domas, I did the morning session, which is basically political, and we were doing governance issues, and then also I did Kazi Burudani, an entrepreneurship program, which basically we were motivating the small scale business people to be able to work, so through entertainment. So my being in media has been into the journalism for change.
Okay.
Yeah? Journalism for social change and entertainment. Not only entertainment, edutainment. Educating while entertaining. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's been quite a career for you. I feel like you've already answered part of my questions, but you're definitely going to go through it slowly. So my second question would be, I feel like you've done part of it, but just expound more by discussing on your educational background and how relevant it has been in your current profession now as an announcer, before as an announcer and now as a media manager.
Thank you. Now, yes, I went through the 844 system. I started at a primary school somewhere in Kasipul, Kabon. Yes, so in primary school. Then I moved into Otoro, still in Kasipul, Kabondo. And then after Otoro, then I came to Multimedia University for my mass communication studies. Yes, so that is the system education. However, I have had exposure to true media trainings, one by Internews. I have had an exposure training by Bloomberg Media. I have had an exposure trainer by Farm Radio International, Kenya Community Media Network. I've also been a trainer of community media operators. My first training was at Mfangano Island at a station called Kialo Kiona FM, where I took them through community content production. And of course, getting to find content from within the community. Then I went to Marsabit, Jangwani FM. I again trained them on editing. Yes, so I've been a media trainer and of course a trainee too. Yeah, so that is basically a nutshell of my professional background in terms of education and etc. Yeah, but also we have been mentored by Ron Clifford from BBC under the Association of Women in Media, Kenya, AMWIC. Yes.
I hope you're taking notes on the kind of resume that we're getting here. You've quite had an experience in the field that it is so. What were the early positions that you held in broadcast field before you became this prominent?
When I was at Multimedia University, I was given a position to manage the radio station 99.9 MMA FM for 1 month. So that was the beginning of me joining Active Media, but then also I was a presenter. So when I finished school, we were the first pioneers for Radio Domas, the community radio station serving Gong and its population. So at Radio Domas, I started as a volunteer. I volunteered for 6 months. Yeah. So within that 6 months of volunteering, I was a presenter. I was a news anchor, and then within that 6 months, I also became the editor. Yes, for Radio Domas. Now, after those 6 months of volunteership, I then was made to be the manager of the radio station. So basically, we can say within a period of 9 months, I had scaled that height. So as of now, I'm the station manager. However, you know, as a community radio station, we don't entirely do on air. We have on-ground activities. So under on-ground interventions, I have been managing several programs. For example, we have a program called Radio Mashinani. Radio Mashinani is basically a program that aims to encourage people to go into public participation. Issues of governance, transparency and accountability, and financial literacy. So Radio Mashinani is being implemented with 2 radios, that is Mtaani Radio and Radio Domas, and I am the programs manager. I am also implementing a program called Amani Mashinani in Tanariba. Amani Mashinani is a program that aims to counter violent extremism in the coastal areas. So we have 2 aspects of it. We have a program called Una Hakika, Are You Sure? That aims at debunking rumors, especially when election times are coming through. So we have an SMS platform where you can send your views or whatever you heard within the community. And then we have ambassadors who are at the studio who gets to look and fact check these rumors that are coming through, and then through Radio Amani FM we can be able now to clarify to the community the real situation on the ground and what is happening, what is really happening. So yeah, basically that has been it, and several occasions. Also I've had a training with Hivos International under the Community Media Fund in South Africa, Wits University, yeah, on issues of fact checking.
Today is going to be a lot to learn. And before we go on to the next section, we are going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back with more. Don't touch that dial. So welcome back, guys, to the second part of the segment. As we had left off at the first part, we were getting to discuss about the educational experience that our interviewers had. And now as we go on, we're getting to get to know more about what being an announcer entails. And yeah, we're definitely going to get more from Boni. So karibu sana tena Boni.
Asante sana.
So we're definitely going to dive into the questions from where we had left. So as an announcer, do you engage in articulation, breathing, voice and analysis of broadcast copy exercises?
Yes, as I had earlier mentioned to you that I was an editor. That means that I have interacted with several copies in the newsroom. I have been to the field. I've gone to the field to gather news. I have been able to edit sound or audio, vox box and etc. So basically I have had that experience. I've engaged in articulation as an announcer on my shows. Yeah. the continuity shows. So he's able to engage in articulation. I've also been able to engage in articulation during the news hours. Yeah. So that is something that in a media house, when you join in a media house as a journalist, then you have to be able to engage in those activities.
Okay.
Go to field work, edit your story, run copy to the editor. So as an editor, you have to interact with every single copy that should run at any hour at the station. Yeah. You also, as a radio presenter, you have to interact. You have to do research. Yeah. So you have to interact with several news stories, not only from your media house, but also from other media house. Yeah. We have syndicated stories that we also get from abroad. Yeah. We have syndicated stories from France Radio International. We have syndicated stories from BBC. We have syndicated stories from Planet Sport. So you have to interact with these stories and be able to channel them or to streamline them to focus on your audience. Because for us, we have a niche that we are covering, and this niche is very unique compared to the mainstream niche. So when you're covering a story, you have to interact with these people personally, one-on-one interaction. The way I can walk into Karapo and meet you, and then you tell me, Boni, when you are doing Kazi Burudani, this and this and this, direct feedback. Yeah? So I interact also with the audience. The copy, now when I come back to design my program, I design my program with the context of what the audience was thinking, but now me, I facilitate it professionally.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, that's nice to hear. So just to touch on that point, I would like to know how important your voice is when it comes to presentation. Is it really key?
Voice is key when it comes to presentation. Because the energy you give is the energy you get. When you don't give enough energy, you don't get enough energy. And what you need is interaction with the audience. You know, for continuity shows, you need a lot of interaction with the audience. So if you don't have enough energy, in your voice, the projection, the punch, and of course, articulate. You have to have those three things. You have to be very much articulate. You have to have the punch. If you are a bass person as myself, that bass has to come out. But then there's that something we call the tonal variation. Your intonation. There are some points that you need to go slow, and there are some points that you need to go high. So the tonal variation is also very key to be able to deliver your presentation in a system, in a format, rhythm, very key. So that as you educate, you also entertain. Yes.
So I'm quite interested in that line that deals with the voice. And I remember earlier on while I was reading in my course, my facilitator was very interested on the fact that there are some things that we are not supposed to, when it comes to the beverages and the drinks that we drink before we get on to where we're supposed to be quite selective. Have you encountered some of those experiences that you're supposed to be keen before getting onto where in regards to what you're drinking?
True. Yeah. Because when you have given your audience a commonality of knowing that you have a resonance. Resonance is the vibration in your voice, and then you take something that makes that makes that resonance go away. Then they probably will try to wait. Who is this? Yes. And then of course there are some things that when you change, then you have the SS thing. I don't know what it's called. I've forgotten, but you find that now when you're saying something, the S is coming out clearly, so clearly that even the person who is listening to you, they are not getting. So the beverages are key. The beverages are key, and you have to be selective as a presenter on what kind of a beverage you're taking. Especially when you're going to a show that you have a guest that you need now to educate your people. The shows that we're doing, we need to educate our people seriously. So you have to be able to be sober enough and have a lot of awareness. So we really encourage our presenters to be selective in the kind of beverages that they're taking, and most of the times hot water. Hot water before the show. Yeah, before the show. And of course you can put in some lemon.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to go into the next question. So how important is your practical experience as an announcer? I feel like you've just mentioned something about being on the field together with being in the studio. So how important is this experience on the practical ground to you as an announcer?
The experience that I have gained through interaction, through my work, I think it is very important because let me tell you something about working for community radio. Yeah. This is something that is very unique to very many people. Yeah. Community radio, we give voice to people who've been relegated to the background, people who've been relegated to the periphery of mainstream conversations. Yeah. So we give them an opportunity to be able to discuss this within their context. And my experience working with people, working with somebody who listens to me and then I go meet them. Yeah? And they tell me, Boni, today you did well when you were talking about public participation. Boni, today you did well when you were talking about HIV and AIDS within the community, encouraging our girls, talking about gender-based violence. It's really encouraging because you get direct feedback from your audience. Yeah? So it is important. The practical experience that I've gained is important. I know that they will propel me further in the media industry.
Wow. Okay. And is it in any way? Does it in any way help your confidence as an announcer also when you get that practical experience as opposed to the studio interaction? Does it help you? Does it build your voice and your courage?
Yes, it definitely builds your voice because what we know about radio is transient.
Yeah.
When you say it goes, unless you repeat it, it's when someone will now. When you repeat it for someone who didn't get it, then they get it. But for this, the practical experience, the one-on-one interaction with our audiences, not in the studio, but on the ground, at the community level, it builds your courage. It gives you more and more reasons to be able to articulate your messages to them. Because, for example, I know who I'm going to greet in the morning even before they send me emails, their messages, because I know they are tuned in. And I know that when I leave this studio, when I go outside there, I'll meet them again. Yeah. So it builds that courage and it makes you be more eager to learn, more eager to do research so that you can be able to inform and impact people that you know. Yeah. So when you're talking to one person, we speak to one person, tunasema msikilizaji. So tukisema msikilizaji, kwangu mimi najua msikilizaji wangu tayari najua. So najua msikilizaji wangu na Moshi Nyozi. Msikilizaji wangu ni Benawa Boda. So namuongelesha kama najua mahitaji yake. Yeah? I know his needs. I know what he needs to know in the morning. Yeah? So when I'm doing my newspaper reading, I choose it according to what they need to desire. Yes, according to its desire. So the interaction builds your confidence and makes you eager to do your research, learn, and satisfy the needs of your listener.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's quite exciting. Okay, so on to the next question. So what job or event represents the peak of your career?
Become a career in media. Probably I will start by mentioning me being made a manager for Radio Demos after volunteering for 6 months.
Yeah.
That was the peak of my career to become the manager. However, also now stemming from the media perspective to now on the ground interventions, I've been able to implement preventing and countering violence extremism with organizations in Nigeria. Where we went to Nigeria for 1 week, we've been to South Africa for some 2 weeks. So these opportunities, the opportunities that it has given us, the learning events and learning opportunities that my career has given me. Also represent the people of Nigeria.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's nice. I feel like you must have been giving so much into the farm for them to make you move from an announcer's position right to a senior manager's position in 6 months. I feel like there must be something that you're giving out in the media that is not.
No, basically it's about consistency. Media is about consistency. Because when you come in today, your listener, they listen to you. And then tomorrow you say, or tomorrow you say, I'm not coming. Because for us, we started as volunteers. And let me tell you something, when we started as volunteers, and then on the second day when we went on air, when the radio station went on air, the transmitter got one. Yeah? So the people who were on air, they were just talking, and I was just listening, and I was like, there are people on air, but we cannot hear them. So when we went to the studio, the transmitter was not done. So we again stayed for 1 month before we got a new transmitter.
Oh.
But within that time, we managed to build a social media platform where we used to come to the studio, do our stories at the studio just for pastime. You see, and we're not paid. Yeah, we're not paid, but we were able to be consistent. Yeah. At some point, we were only 3 of us at the station. So I do the morning session, and then I give Mark to do the mid-morning show, and then I do news. Yeah, between 9 to 1. So between 9 to 1, I do news, and then I go for the reggae show. So Mark does news between 3 to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I do news. He goes to the evening show. So you see, that kind of consistency for only 3 people was enough motivation for us to be able to be given this opportunity. Yeah, because passion and consistency, they go hand in hand. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's great to hear. And as we are coming to the conclusion of our interview, the last question would be, if at all you were to do your work as an announcer all over again, is it something that you will go back to? If yes, give me why. If not, tell me why.
I will forever go back to that. Because the experience I've had broadcasting for a specific community and interaction with the community media under the Association of Kenya Community Media Operators, I've interacted with several community media operators and community media, community radio journalists. The work that they do, the kind of workload that they have, even as volunteers, under difficult circumstances. However, the impact, the change that they have inflicted in their communities is overwhelming. So that is why I will forever be an announcer, journalist for change.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's great to hear. Not so many people who want to go lower than where they came from. I feel like you're one of those few people that are actually doing more of a passion than it is a job. So just an out of the context kind of question. For somebody who's aspiring to be where you are right now, or maybe trying to fit they are just fresh out of school, what kind of advice would you give them when it comes to matters pertaining the journalism field?
Fresh out of school.
Yeah.
Endeavor to get the experience.
Okay.
Don't just, when you're at school, lecturers tell us that, when you become an editor, you'll be earning 200,000 and above. Yeah? When you go there as a reporter, you'll be earning and basically, ground ni tofauti. Ground ni tofauti. Sema tu ukweli. Ground tofauti. Ukikuja huku kwa ground, get the experience. Yeah. Positive energy. When you come to a newsroom and then what you first notice is negativity, then basically the whole day is your whole day is spoiled. But when you have that positive energy, you'll be able to come to yourself, I'll come to you I ask you a question. What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? You can be able to now work as a team. Now working as a team, gaining experience, because you can learn from any person. So the key thing about getting out of school and getting into the media is strive to get the experience first before looking for the money that you have. Experience will come, money will come.
Okay. So people are not supposed to be money-driven, but instead purpose-driven.
You know, the social status, the economic status, and of course the context of where you're coming from sometimes drives you to do some crazy things. Because probably you want to give back home because they paid your fees. Probably you want to support people at home because they are not at their best level. So sometimes it tries to change your conceptions of issues on the ground. But for your professionalism, it's key that you get the experience that is necessary.
You mentioned something about you doing volunteering as a media practitioner, yeah? So how long did you do this?
I volunteered for 9 months.
For 9 months. Wow, guys, I hope you got that clear. 9 months of volunteering.
And there are people who have volunteered almost for 2 years. There are people who have volunteered for 3 years. And you know, volunteership is key. When you put that you volunteered in your CV, it sends a different perception of yourself. That attracts people. They know that this is a person who can devote his time, his profession, and of course his resources to be able to serve his community.
Okay, then that brings us to the end of this session, Bonnie. We are very grateful for your time and for your insight on everything. And I feel like I have left here better than I came. And we are going to use this not just for me, but for more people and graduates that are coming out into the media to get to know a thing or two.
Thank you. And of course, young people should know that we can do a lot.
We can do a lot.
If you come to a radio station, as you had seen, they are only young. And they are running this way.
So any parting shots that you have, you might say to the public that they might be motivated by the experience, and we call it a show.
Probably say focus on community media. We don't propagate any intention that is personal to any person. We propagate intentions to communities, and we propagate intentions that are solution-based to different communities. So support any community media that is within your community. We have a total of almost 42 community radio stations in Kenya. Kindly, when you're in that community, support that community radio station. And there's a difference between a community radio station and a vernacular radio station. A community radio station serves a niche, serves a specific community, and serves specific issues. A vernacular radio station is a small business radio station, a small commercial radio station. Yes. So support any community radio station that is within your reach. Support them, contribute to the discussions. It is a responsibility. It is their responsibility. Interact.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you. I hope we're going to get more sessions.
Asante sana.